Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're discussing several sports-related stories that have been making headlines recently.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to diving into these topics.
Let's start with the projected 2026 Western Conference Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. The discussions around this potential matchup are already heating up.
That's right. The speculation is intense, especially given the current rosters of both teams. What are your thoughts on how this series might play out?
Well, it seems the Thunder have been building a strong young core, while the Spurs are known for their strategic draft picks and development. The contrast between their approaches could make for an interesting series.
Exactly. The Thunder's emphasis on athleticism versus the Spurs' focus on skill development could lead to some compelling matchups. Have you seen any projections or analysis on how these styles might clash?
Some commentators are suggesting that the Thunder's speed and agility might overwhelm the Spurs, unless the Spurs can establish a strong defensive presence. The Spurs have been known for their defensive prowess in the past.
That's a good point. The Spurs' ability to adapt their defense could be crucial. What about the role of key players on both teams? Are there any standout names you're keeping an eye on?
Certainly. Players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Thunder and Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs are going to be significant factors. Wembanyama's defensive capabilities, in particular, could be a game-changer.
Wembanyama blocking Shai's mid-range jumper from inside the paint is already being talked about as a highlight reel moment. It's exciting to think about how these superstars will match up.
Moving on to another story, Neymar has been included in Brazil's World Cup squad despite his recent injury struggles. What are your thoughts on this selection?
It's a bold move by Coach Carlo Ancelotti. Neymar's experience and skill could be invaluable, but there's also a risk of re-injury. Do you think it's a calculated risk worth taking?
Ancelotti seems to be banking on Neymar's past performances and his current training. The decision likely came down to assessing Neymar's fitness.
That's true. Neymar's history with Brazil is unmatched, and having him on the team could boost morale and performance. But how do you think his absence for the past 3 years will impact his integration into the team?
It's a valid concern. Neymar's return after such a long absence might require some adjustment period. However, his talent is undeniable, so it's likely he'll make an impact once he gets going.
Let's switch gears to a different sports story. Rashee Rice, the Kansas City Chiefs receiver, has been sentenced to jail for violating his probation. What are the implications of this for his career?
This is a significant development. Rice's situation is complicated by his involvement in a previous crash that left multiple people injured. The probation violation adds another layer of complexity.
Right. The fact that he tested positive for marijuana while on probation suggests a lapse in judgment or adherence to the terms of his probation. How might this affect his standing with the Chiefs?
The Chiefs might take disciplinary action, depending on their policies and how they view the situation. Rice's on-field performance will likely be under scrutiny as well.
Shifting to rugby, the Gallagher Prem, the wrap-up, recently covered the 16th round of fixtures. What were some of the highlights from that round?
The wrap-up highlighted several thrilling matches and storylines from the round. Although specific details aren't available, these summaries usually capture the most exciting moments and turning points in the games.
That's great. These wrap-ups are always a good way to catch up on the action if you haven't been following the league closely. Did they mention any standout performances or surprises from the round?
Well, I don't have the exact details. It's likely they discussed key player performances and unexpected results that might have shaken up the standings.
Another story we should touch on is the EFL Greatest Games series, which is showcasing some of the most memorable matches from past seasons. Have you seen any of these games highlighted?
Yes, they've been featuring some epic encounters, like Derby County versus Cardiff City and Aston Villa versus Leeds United. These matchups are always intense and closely contested.
Those are great choices. The EFL Championship is known for its competitiveness, so it's no surprise these games are being remembered as some of the greatest.
Absolutely. The series is a great way to revisit some of the thrilling moments from recent seasons. It's also a nice nostalgia trip for fans who've been following the league.
As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear there's a lot happening across different sports. From potential NBA matchups to rugby highlights and football news, there's always something new to talk about.
That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.